Hey guys, in this video we're going to be going over lesson 5.9, which is on discriminant. And the formula for the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. That probably looks familiar. It comes from the quadratic formula. And the discriminant tells us the number and type of solutions or x-intercepts that a quadratic has. And so here's what it means. And I always get discriminant and determinant mixed up. That should say discriminant. So if the discriminant is greater than 0, that means it's a positive number and it's a perfect square. Then there are two solutions that are rational numbers. Rational just means it's a nice fraction or a whole number. Now, if it's a positive number greater than 0, but it's not a perfect square, it still has two solutions, but they are irrational. If the discriminant is equal to 0, then there is one solution, and that solution is a rational number. If the discriminant is less than 0, meaning it's a negative number, then there are two imaginary solutions. So if you looked at the graph, it really doesn't cross the x-axis. We say that those solutions are imaginary. So let's do an example. Number 11. To find the discriminant, we do b squared minus 4ac. So that's 12 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 13. And the number I get when I type that in my calculator is 248. That's a positive number, but 248 is not a perfect square. So that means that we have two irrational solutions. Number 12, b 16 squared minus 4 times a, or negative 1, times c, negative 64. That is 0. So when the discriminant is 0, that means that we have one rational solution. Number 13, notice it's not equal to 0. So we need to subtract 10x from both sides. So we get negative 4x squared minus 10x plus 84 equals 0. It's important that you put the minus 10x in the middle. Your x is always in the middle. So we have negative 10 squared minus 4 times negative 4 times 84. And you get 1,444. That is a perfect square, which means we have two rational solutions. Number 14, we don't have just an x. There's nothing there in the middle. So our b is 0. So we have 0 squared minus 4 times 3 times 24. And that is negative 288. Which means that we have 2 imaginary solutions, because that's a negative number. Now let's say that you got a negative number that was a perfect square. That would still be 2 imaginary solutions, even though it's a perfect square. All right. Now this next little bit, this is just something random. It doesn't have anything to do with the discriminant. But we've talked about several different ways to find solutions or to find x-intercepts. And I'm going to show you when you would use the certain methods. So for example, graphing method, this only works sometimes. It only works when you've got equations in y equals mx plus b form. And if you have the graph, oh, that's not right. We're not even, I was looking at the wrong thing. Erase that. These are quadratics. It's not y equals mx plus b. We graph when our solutions are rational. But even then, I wouldn't choose graphing. I would choose another method. This is kind of like you graph to check your answer almost. Factoring works sometimes when your solutions are rational, again. So just occasionally. I wouldn't try to factor unless the question actually says solve by factoring. Then the square root method works sometimes. This only works when you don't have a b. So there's no x. You just have the x squared and then the plain number. And the quadratic formula always works, no matter what. If you have any question on the discriminants, not determinants, discriminants, let me know. Have a great day.